What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. We're going to be getting going here in just a couple of minutes. Hope you're all feeling good. Good to see everybody in here early. Getting started just a little bit earlier because I feel rushed every day. So let's vibe. We're going to be getting going in about 3 minutes. Man, for those of you that were in the BitLab members Discord yesterday, the stream, I talked about that quant coming back down to 101 and it pushed a little higher, made me doubt myself, and you know what it did? Crashed right back down to that 101 level. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. I hope you're feeling good. Hope you're grateful. If you're not grateful, think about something that you could be grateful for today. It doesn't even have to be something incredibly explosive or awesome. It could be grateful to have legs. You could be grateful to have all your fingers. You could be grateful to have your family or friends or your mind being ahead of the curve. So if you're grateful today, throw a 1 in chat right now. Everybody get involved. Hit that like button. We got 17 people in the room as we're starting this. We started a little bit early. I think if you guys like this, let me know if you like it. Throw a 2 in chat if you like starting just a little bit earlier so I can give you about 45 minutes. That's the goal here. If not, then we can start it at 10 o'clock. You just guys let me know. Comment down below if you're watching later, if you like the earlier time. or if you want it at 10 o'clock, just let me know. Also, special shout out, I'll say it a couple times during the stream, special shout out to our members. We got some great, we have the membership now. The link is up above. It's where you get those different emojis. And the more people join our membership, the more emojis we get. And there's 3 different tiers. There's the $4.99, the $14.99, and I think the $49. And you're not required to do any of them or any particular level, but you get access to those emojis on the first level, as well as some behind the scenes gifts that I'm going to be doing here in BitLab and at Hit Network, as well as, of course, you can join the free area of the Discord. And then on the next level up, the BitLab Professor, you will get access to a couple select things out of the premium Discord: charts, member streams, and other things that are going to be a little bit special access in the Discord as well, beyond the free. And then, of course, if the BitLab Ballers, that's just if you really want to support the channel. And, of course, we're going to be calling out members as you join. And if you do see somebody gifting memberships, if you're on your PC or Mac, not on your phone, if you click on that, it will give you the opportunity to enable memberships, to enable basically receiving those gifts. So when you do see those green boxes with somebody gifting memberships, click on that and you'll be able to enable your ability to add access to that. But shout out, we got Kay Pulliam in here. We got, who else we got? Granny's Garden. Let's see, Alexandra G, Sawtooth Hiker, Crimson Caravan Company. We're roll calling all the paying members here on the YouTube, and we got. Let me see. I'm trying to pull up an actual thing that shows me every single one of them. Hope you're all feeling good. We got to talk about potential for the price action to pull back. I'm trying to find the studio. There we go. We got to talk about price action potentially pulling back, what we can do to stay ahead of the market, because that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we have an edge here. We want to make sure that we can, stay ahead of what's happening. We got Falco. Who else didn't I call out? Brad Guidell. Yeah, so that's Bit Voodoo. Shout out to all you members. Really appreciate you here. Now let's go ahead and jump in to talk about what is going on here. What's good, boy? Let's go ahead. Deucey Does. How you doing, my friend? Now let's go ahead and break down. Okay, we got to talk about this right here. We talk about it almost every day because this is one of those things that's going to drive the market. We do see that the global liquidity is rounding out here a bit. Are we going to get that injection of capital into the markets? Because it's going to change the risk dynamic and make a lot more liquidity available to be spread into global equities and crypto. So we got to pay attention to this. Now, if you haven't yet, make sure you head over to my page right here at Kelly Kellam. Kelly Kellam. There's only one Kelly Kellam. Make sure you're following the correct one. Come give me a follow there. And then, of course, the BitLab Academy page right here at Academy BitLab. Hit that retweet, hit that like button, get involved, show some love here. Now, I want to talk about a couple things we're just going to address, but we're going to be doing a lot of charts today. And shout out to Juan, shout out to Matt C. How you doing, my friend? I want to talk about this right here. Ethereum Insider says fraud revelations will come in weeks, not months. So this is just something, I'm not trying to spread any FUD around Ethereum. I like Ethereum, but this is one of those things that you at least need to be aware of when you are diversifying your portfolio, when you're trying to figure out what to put money in, when you're trying to figure out what to do. Because this could be something, if it is a smoking gun, if there is evidence, if there is something that is, untoward, I don't know if I've ever used that in a sentence, then there could be some bearish pressure on Ethereum in the coming weeks when this happens. So just know that when we're looking at this. Good morning, Lab fam. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Dropping in the beakers and the rockets here. Bit Voodoo, shout out to you, my friend. Now, another thing we want to look at is right here. While I may be calling for a potential drop in prices, there is a bullish development happening right now with one of those markers for where risk is in the market. The kiss of death on Dixie, DXY, the dollar index, suggests that we may be getting a shifting trend in the dollar. A shifting trend. This is the dollar index. I'll pull it up here in a second as well. But this is that rising rising level of support that was broken. Not only was it broken, we have it. I wouldn't call it head and shoulders because we have a shoulder, a lower head, and then a higher right shoulder, but very similar in terms of the shape. 3 pushes, 3 failed pushes, a bit of a neckline, and now we have also a lower low. What do we talk about when we talk about price action forming a lower low on an asset? We want to look for a lower high following because that could be a signal that something may be coming for a continuation to the downside. This is what that looks like. Zooming in here, whether or not you're trading Dixie on the Forex market, you need to pay attention to this if you're trading Bitcoin, if you're investing or trying to figure out what's going on, especially if you're using shorter time frames. If you are trading, meaning you're not buying and holding until sometime in 2025 or beyond, then you need to pay attention to this because this will give you a leading signal as to what is going on with the risk narrative in the markets. We see this. Look, push up, much smaller push up. I mean, you see how big this push up right here is? Very large push up, very small push up. And now we have a lower low, followed by a lower high, followed by a lower low, an attempt higher, but then followed immediately by a lower low. So what I'm looking for here on the dollar index, and the reason why we care is that this signals to us if money is flowing out of equities, out of Bitcoin, out of investments into cash, or the vice versa. And we're seeing this pretty significant lower low here. So what is going to happen here? If we cannot clear this low of this previous range right here, of this, I wouldn't call it the low of the range, but this basically top, the low of this top here, this looks like something that may be setting up to really test lower. Now, if this tests lower, this means freer capital flowing into those risk assets. This is why we want to pay attention to it. Now, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Now, again, if anybody wants to join the membership, the link is up above in the top. We're going to be having all kind of emojis, gifts, special charts, especially for those BitLab professors. There's going to be charts each week and private member stream for the YouTube community here. Now, zooming in on, actually zooming out, I should say. God dang it. It's too many buttons to click. There we go. Zooming out here, I just want to point out, we also see on the SPDR, the S&P 500 ETF Trust, look at this pretty significant lower low. And currently, we're coming in still at a lower high here, unless this pushes higher here. But this is one of those things. It's showing, all this talk about the traditional markets potentially breaking down. We're starting to see that. If we cannot clear this level right here, which is up here at 437, 437, let's call it 440 just to be a little conservative there, then this may be making another attempt to the downside. Now, the question is going to be, how does Bitcoin respond if traditional markets are really starting to get to the point where people are capitulating? We're in an interesting juncture right now with S&P 500 and or traditional markets, I should say, in Bitcoin. If we come back over to this chart, if we come down here to the S&P 500 and Bitcoin correlation, orange line is Bitcoin. The SPX, which is S&P 500, is the blue line. Look at this sharp decline in S&P 500 while Bitcoin found a base and then pushed higher. Now, we did see a pretty significant push up here on the S&P 500, and this is that same metric that same asset we were just looking at. The question is going to be, does this continue? Is this a reversal and continues higher, or is this going to reverse here and continue pushing down? And will this break in correlation hold with Bitcoin? We are seeing this massive pump push up right here. This is an orange line pushing up. We do see a little bit of a pause, hesitation right now. And we're going to be talking about this here in a moment. When we come out here and look at Bitcoin, look at this, pushed up, kind of trading sideways, liquidity washouts in both directions, still trading sideways. Are we going to get something similar to what we saw back here in June? Push up, liquidity washout to the upside, to the downside, back to the upside, and then the bulls lost their conviction and the bears took over and ultimately dropped it all the way down here to 24.9, 24.8, 24.945 really. We want to pay attention to these things. Now we want this to go higher. Throw a rocket in chat right now. Throw a rocket emoji in chat right now if you're wanting price to go up. Everybody should throw that rocket in chat. But we need to make sure that we're not trading just on hope. There are some signs that are suggesting some weakness may be coming in. We see this. There's two bearish divergences right here, money flow and momentum. We've lost the trend signal line and the dynamic support zone here on the BitLab Intelligence, part of the BitLab trading stack indicator set. Now, will we hold this line right here that is marked as support on this sort of upward channel that we've been trading in? If we lose this, could be signs of some further downside. We also have this line right here, which is basically the bottom of where this previous sort of liquidity washout to the downside was, which was very small comparatively with the rest of the moves that have happened in the last 2 weeks. But this would be basically 34,217. About $600 down. If we lose that, why is that important? Because then all of a sudden we pushed up, we found a low, we push up, lower high right here. We see this lower high. Tell me you see this lower high from this here. Now, if this resolves also to having a lower low next, we may be setting up for further downside. Now, what are some of the other things I wanted to look at today? Well, we talked about this Ethereum insider potentially breaking out some fraud claims with Ethereum. Maybe some downward pressure comes from that. We also see the Dixie, as we said, this is a counter story. So we had a bearish story. This is potentially bullish if the Dixie breaks down. But we can also then see Cardano TVL overtakes Bitcoin with surge of 240 million. Now, what are they talking about? Because Bitcoin is not really it's not really utilized like DeFi where you're hard staking and stuff like this. But Cardano's DeFi ecosystem is built on remarkable growth in the third quarter of the year, further climbing the ranks of leading blockchains by total value locked. According to data from DeFi Llama, Cardano is now the 11th largest chain by DeFi TVL, over 240 million. Now, this is just important because as Cardano has built in their DeFi platform and the smart contracts and integrated all these things, everybody feels like it's so far behind Ethereum. Well, Ethereum was obviously launched before Cardano, and some of the co-founders of Ethereum are, Charles Hoskinson and James Wood are the founders of Cardano. So yes, it is behind it, but in terms of a timeline and how fast they're delivering on some of the things they're doing, has actually happened somewhat faster than the roadmap for Ethereum. Now, Ethereum, of course, laid out a lot of that roadmap. There's a lot of ads on this page in there. But with the implementation of all these things, they are making all the steps towards growing out their ecosystem, which is wonderful, which is what you want to see, especially coming out of a bear market, going into a bull market, seeing an execution and an implementation of those things that they had on the roadmap and doing it successfully. This is good. Cardano also making some waves. We'll pull up the TA on Cardano here in a minute. The other thing we want to look at is Bitcoin open interest passes 15 billion as analyst warns of a 20% Bitcoin price dip. Now, I saw this after I even made my sort of assumption and my analysis and my thumbnail for in the title of today's stream, but this just further supports that. The highest Bitcoin open interest levels in 6 months come as analysis predict that Bitcoin price action will fail to flip $36,000 this week. Do you think Bitcoin's going to break $36,000? And I don't mean by going $3 or $4 over. I mean breaking it and pushing, past into the 37s or above. Do you think so? Throw a 1 in chat if you think this is pushing higher as such. Throw a 2 in chat if you think we're going to stall in this region and push down. Let me know what you're thinking. We got 99 people in the room. We got 99 people, and the like button ain't one. Everybody hit that like button right now. Get involved, hit the subscribe button, join us in our family. We've got a wonderful community here. Positivity, that's what this is all about. Good morning, traders, says Quarter Crawler. How you doing? Crimson Caravan and Matt C, Fade and TradFi. We got all the people in the house. Now, coming back over, there's something else I wanted to show you. I want to look at this chart right here. By the way, the gentleman that built this platform, one of the guys that I use so many of the charts of, The Rational Root is his name. I can actually pull it up. I'll pull it up here in a second. Actually, pull it up right now. The Rational Root. Let me see. The Rash. I will be interviewing this individual on Thursday, and that will be going out on Saturday's interview stream that we typically do Saturday mornings. Absolutely brilliant on-chain analyst, as well as just he's the one that shares all these charts with the cycle comparisons and I mean, so much great information. Really smart guy. But this chart right here, this is basically wonderful chart, and it's showing essentially where the fair value is. Fair value currently sitting around, if we get right in there, currently sitting around 41.8, basically just shy of 42,000. Now, what we want to do when we look at this, it doesn't mean price is going to go there. It shows you if we put the mouse over here, the undervalue would be at 27, and heavily undervalued would be down at 17. Do I think it's going to go to 17? No, I don't. This is just a map of showing possibilities, and we kind of look at this. This came right down to that undervalued zone right here, found a bottom right here, right above it, tapped right here, right again, tapped right here again. This is the point. He's got a great model in this chart. Of course, we have the halvings. We can see how price action corresponds to where it is in the particular halving cycle. Okay. And what I want you to see is this fair value right here. It pushes right up against it, rejects, consolidates with a slight uptrend here until we break above it and then find support on it and push to the upside. Now, look at this. We come over here. We have not yet even tapped it. There's a lot of work yet to be done for Bitcoin. So when people telling you 300,000, 500,000 Bitcoin, yes, possible, but it's going to be in some many months, if not years, to get to those levels. $42,000 is the fair value. The next level right below that is this undervalued level, right about 27.5, 27.8 sort of zone. So we're still doing quite well. Price is still looking very healthy. It does look like in order for us to have that continuation higher, it feels to me like there's a little bit of exuberance here. And we can see that just like here with open interest. And we saw CME futures also hitting record levels. Open interest surge spooks Bitcoin pundits. Data from Cointelegraph Market Pro and TradingView showed BTC price trajectory struggling to reclaim 35,000 as support. The largest cryptocurrency lacked clear direction into the Wall Street Open, but market participants predicted that volatility would soon return. The reason they said was a sharp increase in open interest, meaning how many people are placing those derivatives contracts, those futures, those leverage, all these different things that are showing where there can be a bias in the market. And when there's bias in the market that's noticeable, smart money can take advantage of that bias and take your money from you if you do not have a good, healthy strategy in place. That's what this is. That's why this is so important to pay attention to. This is what's known as finding an edge in the market. Almost 10,000 Bitcoin in open interest added today. Fireworks soon. Financial commentator TED Talks Macro. I like TED Talks Macro. Predicted on the day. As turned this trend points to increasing involvement in Bitcoin futures, hinting at either a positive shift in market mood or a move towards protective strategies by investors. The CME exchange preferred by institutional investors. This is why we pay attention to the CME futures. Has achieved a new record in open interest with 105,000 Bitcoin contracts open, valued at $3.6 billion. Binance has edged past this figure with open interest of approximately 113,500. So this is just important to understand that there's a lot of open interest coming in, which means the market is susceptible to volatility. Why is this? Why is the market susceptible to volatility when there's a large increase in open interest? Because this means that there's a metric that allows you to really gauge people taking bets, essentially placing their money with what direction they think the market's going to go. When you see a disproportionate number of people all going long or short, markets can move in the opposite direction, triggering very volatile moves when those positions are forced closed. Now, forced close means they could either start to close their positions on their own. For instance, if they short, they have to buy. Or people without healthy risk management can have the price action push beyond the point at which those contracts can be sustained, and they are forced closed through what's known as a liquidation. And if they are liquidated, then it's an immediate forced buy or immediate forced sell. It's always the opposite of what the trade is. So if you are long, it will be a forced closure when price is going down, which means all of a sudden you have to sell and it drives price even further. So you have long squeezes and short squeezes. So we just want to pay attention to this. Things are getting a little spicy. Now, I just want to shout out in the BitLab Discord. If you're not in there, get involved. We got a lot of stuff going on in here. I did a great stream yesterday. This has been in the lobby for the last couple of days, letting everybody know this is going on, but we will have a channel here in the Discord for all the paying members of BitLab Academy. So just get involved, bitlabacademy.com if you're not involved yet. And I think prices will be changing soon on that as well. Everybody that's currently in BitLab, prices won't change for you, just so you know. But we're still figuring all that out. But we're adding so much more value now in what we're doing and doing these private streams. But we got a lot. I mean, we got so many things in here, just calls on, I mean, on coins I hadn't even heard of. We got John Dalton's professional trader. Corridor is in here always sharing stuff, really breaking down different thoughts and charts and really, you know, we have a community here in the Discord. So make sure you're getting involved there. Now, what do we want to talk about today? We want to talk about the fact that I believe that we will be getting a pullback here soon on the markets. I don't think it's going to be a sustained pullback where we break down to $20,000, although it could happen. I think we need to flush out some of the hopium in the market and reclaim this inefficient move right here. There's no structure when you have a move that's this fast, meaning there's a lot of opportunity here with liquidity, which is represented. See this big green box right here? I did not draw this big green box, this one either. This big green box is an order block automatically printed here by the BitLab volume. Alexander G gifted 5 BitLab Academy memberships. Shout out Alexander G. Thank you so much. Anybody, if you want to basically get those, click on that link on your computer or click on that green box and it'll give you an opportunity to enable memberships and you'll be able to take advantage of the memberships there. And then at the end of the month, I believe you have the option if you want to continue the membership on your own or not. That's for here on YouTube. But shout out. Thank you so much, Alexander G. That's awesome. I love the family we got here. Now, these order blocks show high liquidity interest. Now, interestingly, this order block is where? Look at this line that's right here. This line right here is a previous high, right in the middle of this order block region. And so to me, it feels highly likely. Let me delete these 2 dots. There we go. It feels highly likely at minimum we will retest 33,299. That's the low of this range. That would be a good washout that would really catch people in both directions. Why is that? Because the super bears, as this breaks down, are going to be committed to going short. Okay. And some other people are going to jump on that as well, only to reverse. And it doesn't get all the way down here to this previous high. And if this reverses back up, it's going to take a lot of people by surprise. I still do think that it's highly likely that we are going to tap somewhere in this range right here. This basically 31.8 to 32.6, somewhere in this range here. Even if it's a quick wick, I do think it is something that's in the store. We have interest is diminishing here. We see the volume dropping precipitously. If we come over here to the, see, just also note, look at all the bearishness that's starting to show up on the dashboard here on the BitLab Trend Fuel. Now, if we go out to the daily, I mean, got the volume falling off a cliff. Volume falling off a cliff. Look at that, rejected right at the 382. That 382 from this larger move all the way from the top to the bottom. Where did we push up to? Look at that, 382. It's as if the chart tells you where it's going to go. Now, how many of you, Alexander G gifted 5 BitLab Academy memberships. I want to see some of you that have been in here on a regular basis. Scroll up in the chat, click on that green box, accept one of those memberships, get involved. We got 121 people in here, only 48 likes. Everybody hit that like button. Join us here in the family. Now, let's go ahead and zoom into this. Let's look at the 2 hour. Let's see if this is something that's impending or if it has some time left. Now we got a bit of a rising channel here. Rising channels tend to break bearish. It doesn't mean it has to have a bearish break and a bearish continuation, but it does mean there's more likely than not going to push to the downside. Kate Pulliam, shout out, gifted 5 memberships. I want everybody to click on that, accept it, free membership. Now, this just means that very likely, at minimum, this is going to wash out to the downside and probably either bounce here if it's very bullish, bounce here on this point of control right here on the BitLab volume, or come down here and test this low here at the 33,299. If we lose that, that's when we're really clearing out, doing a more effective job of clearing out the inefficiency in the market with this fast move that happened here with no structure. This is why I have a strong guess that it's going to move down into this region. Now we can also see right here, if we zoom in on this, shout out to Michael Cordero. I don't know if I can pronounce that correctly. Aloha, mad scientist. Shout out, my friend. Now, look at this sharp decrease on the momentum. Now we're also seeing right here on the stochastics and the RSI, all of these are starting to descend quite noticeably into this price action pushing higher. So this gives me a little concern. It's that underlying fuel that we're looking at. It's that underlying fuel. Can the move sustain higher? Well, is there gas in the car? Or is the air coming out of the tires, which is what all these indicators are suggesting. Now, if we zoom into this is a 2 hour. Let's get down to the 30 minutes. Go ahead and zoom out of that. Okay, we're getting a pretty significant push to the downside here on the momentum. And we're coming up into a zone on the stochastics on the 1 hour that may be a sort of kind of reversal zone. We see a lot, we've had these deviations above, but reverse, 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 reverse. We're coming right up on this zone. So what is it looking like down on the 15 minutes? Are we getting, yeah, it's starting to roll over a little bit, starting to look a little bit bearish. So do I think this is going to happen today? I don't think it's going to happen today, but I think probably by the end of the week, we'll see a liquidity washout at minimum to the downside. So what is it looking like on Ethereum? Ethereum, this is that chart that I posted, I had on stream yesterday. This was, let's see, this is the daily. Price was, I think I posted this over here, and I marked out this level, this level, this level, which is directly below us. And it looked like we tapped right up into this 1911, tested right back down to the 1860. Which direction is it going to go? Now, looking at this, this did break out. It's currently retesting. The question is this going to continue? Is this going to find support here and bounce to the upside? Or is this going to lose this, come up, reject, and then come back down like this? Well, let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's see what the story tells us with higher resolution. Well, as it stands right now, this is not looking super bullish because look at this. We pushed up, found support. This is very bearish, this M sort of formation with a lower high. But then we got another attempt. It's starting to look a little bit like a head and shoulders, but we don't have a right shoulder. But similarly, we're getting signs coming down. We lost this line right here, came down and tested this and are rejecting at that line that's just above us. What is the line? It's the parallel channel support and resistance that we're tried to flip to support, but look at that. We have lost it, and we're kind of in a deciding zone right now for Ethereum. So what are we looking like? Okay, looking a little bit bearish on the 8 hour. Look at this bearish divergence here. See how high this is and how low this is? Now look at how high this is and how high this is. So the price is higher while the fuel for the move is lower. So I'm a little bit concerned here for Ethereum. I do think we may test somewhere at minimum into this range, 1830s, which would basically be the median line of this move here, which would be about 1836. If we lose that, then I do think we're going to be testing down into 1800s and potentially down into the 1740s. If we lose this, then we may be having a scary time. Now, remember, we have potential fraud allegations coming out, so let's just be aware of that. I'm pretty high right now, Kelly. My day had to wake and bake. Shout out Fade and Traffi. Everybody's got their own things. Well, Ethereum, let's get down to the 24-minute. Yeah, see, this is looking like a rounding top. Now, we've got a little bit lower low here. I'm watching for if we actually break this line right here, potentially commit to price action moving a bit lower. Now, one of the coins I did want to point out, Quant, this is that coin. I talked about it yesterday in the BitLab Discord. I talked about it towards the very end of that video. The link is in the lobby. If you are in the BitLab Discord, you can still watch it. Price was about right here. And I was suggesting, although this was bouncing on this previous high, I was suggesting that even if this went up, I thought that it was going to come down and test this region right here with this intersection of these two zones right here, coming down, testing that 100, 101 region. And you know what? It's one of those moments where you have to trust and have conviction with what your analysis is. Price action pushed higher, and it's like, but then I knew that this line right here, this very lopsided line, but this line right here, this resistance line, I was watching for what was going to happen here. Pushed up, rejected, pushed up. And what we get? M formation. So we had a W formation down here. Push up, push up, push up. All these W formations at the bottom and M formations at the top, but it's pushing higher each time. M formation, but then M formation. And finally, it breaks through this zone right here, and the bottom falls out from under. It comes right into the zone. Now, it's looking currently like it may be trying to go a little bit lower. We're looking at the 1 hour. Let's look at the 24-minute. Because look at this. It's retesting this previous resistance, now potential support. But look at this. This is pushing through it. So is this going to go lower? Well, look at the momentum here is starting to round out. If we cannot hold this region right here, I'm looking at coming down into this zone down here in the 99s. If we lose 99, then I'm looking at coming down here into 98. Now, it may not feel like big moves, but this is also a 15-minute chart. If we look at this on the 4-hour chart, then essentially I'd be looking at coming down here. Yeah, the 98 sort of zone, potentially even coming all the way back down to test this region down here in 95. And that would be a great buy for Quant. Think about the tokenomics. Quant has such good tokenomics and a lot of great things that they're doing with their developments, integrating with their blockchain, with their protocol. Now let's look at Cardano. Cardano is making some moves. Well, let's look at Filecoin first. Looks like it's forming a bit of a rising wedge. It's going to be a very long wedge, but it's looking to me. This is a box. This is a box we showed yesterday. We're looking at the 4 hour. This was price was somewhere. It was 6th, 7th, so it would have been right in here. I was talking about price potentially testing this and coming back down to test this box. This is the area we're coming to. A lot of these I'm talking about in the private Discord, just so you guys know. So get in there. And shout out to all the members here in the chat. Again, thank you guys for being a part of this, helping keep the lights on, helping drive forward, helping bring on new team members so we can develop out and build and have so many more resources for everybody here and in all this stuff. We should have some more emojis today as well. We see both Alexandra G and Cade both gifted 5 memberships. So you guys can accept those. If you scroll up in chat, click on the green box where it says Cade Pulliam gifted 5. Click on that. And you should be able to add membership, enable it, because your memberships may not be enabled if you didn't accept those gifts. Now, coming back over here, we wanted to look at this. It's trying to do some work. Look at this momentum wave. It's curled over, coming down on the 1 hour. Yeah, it's still coming down. It's looking like it wants to test into that region that we outlined. Cardano. There's another chart that was it right here? No, but we can look at this. I mean, look at this. A little bit of a roundingness here. loss of momentum. Why do I say that? Push up, smaller push up, lower low. But what we didn't get was a lower high. This continued pushing higher. Blow off top. Where did it go? How could we have known it was going to go there? It went right into this order block. Let's actually look at this at a bigger time frame. So yeah, delete all those lines. So we need to watch this region right here. And this is, I mean, we're falling right into it. And we've also got this trend line right there. And yeah, this is, ooh, I think we will likely come down into this 33-cent range. If we lose that, coming down into probably test a bit lower. Let's get out to a better time frame. Yeah, if we lose this, I think we're coming down here into the 32s, testing this region, because this, I think we will get a bounce. What I think is probably quite likely is that we do get a little bit of a bounce and we get a head and shoulders, which would essentially come down somewhere in here and something like this, and then represent, if we were to measure this, if this plays out, this is how you get prepared for the move before it comes. If that plays out, then that shows that we come down to 30 cents. That would be the target if this were to play out. So let's be prepared for that. Now let's look at one more coin, and we got to go. We got to go. I got to go do some TA over on Discover Crypto. How you guys like that new set over there? Great new set. We're still going to be tweaking it up a little bit, but have you clicked the like button? Have you clicked the like button? Alexander G says. Well, let's look here at, look at this. Boom. We got that exactly what I was just talking about on Cardano. What do we got? Shoulder, head with an M formation. This is the double top with the lower high. All the things that suggest a reversal. And where did it happen at? Right at the order block. Right at the order block. Where did this order block come from? All the way over here. Back in July 2023. Has not been cleared yet, which means liquidity has not gone up there and cleared that zone. It's tapped this. It tapped it. We have an M formation, and then the price fell out from under it. This was a clear opportunity to take a short, breaking this neckline. Now we have a further move here where we have this head and shoulders, right? So let's go ahead and draw the neckline right here. We've already lost it. Look at that. We've lost it. Now, do I think this is going to play out? I don't know. Let's see where the target is. Let's see if it corresponds with any known levels. So right here. Previous high, this point from which it broke down of this range, or actually, you know, the point, I won't call it a high. The previous point from which we broke down, and look at where this target goes to on this head and shoulders, right to that level. It's the last level of support, which is just above this previous high as well. So I do think there's a possibility we drop down into the 63s for Ethereum, for XRP. So let's stay vigilant. Let's stay smart. And I love you all. I appreciate you all. If you haven't yet, I just want to really encourage you all to be smart when you're trading. Don't just take trades because you want to be in the market. Okay? I want you to take trades because the trade setup came to you in the strategy that you were utilizing. Okay? And if you want more information on all this, head over to bitlabacademy.com. Get involved with us. You can start for free right here. Also, if you click on this, it'll take you to the 3 different options you can sign up for. The free option, the all access, which is basically the premium Discord and all the courses. And by the way, there's a lot of courses. Or the pro, which also gives you access to the indicators. Now, if you go to view all on courses right here, you can see we have all this stuff breaking down everything from the psychology to the basic 101 stuff to fundamentals and psychology and on-chain and candles and candle, all of it. And if you want to get the indicators right here, you can come over here to indicators. You come right in here, and you can still use a give me 30 for 30% off your first month. That's all I got to say. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you over in Discover Crypto. Let's go bring some positivity there. Everybody's working really hard to bring the best peak of information and news with open, different perspectives on what's going on in the market. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you to all the members. Thank you all for helping support what's going on here at BitLab Academy. It takes a village. It really does. I love you, and that's all I got. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you to all the members for joining here on YouTube and also on the Academy. I love you all very much. Adios, muchachos.